Hey, thanks very much, Ambassador Tuttle, for that introduction. And ladies and gentlemen, you'd expect me to say it, but it really is an honor to be here. And frankly, it would be humbling enough to look out at the audience and see who's here, but to be here in the halls with all the reminders of the great communicator and be expected to make a speech is truly humbling, and I mean that sincerely. I've been asked to speak for about 10 minutes before taking questions, and I thought what I'd do is share a few thoughts about the strategic landscape and probably as importantly, the implications for the joint force. But before I do that, I'd like to make a few comments about the state of the force today. You know, for the last few years, we've had an ongoing dialogue about the adverse impact of uncertainty and 15 years at war. And all of the service chiefs, and most of them are here today, have testified to the very real challenges of worn-out equipment, deferred modernization, high operational tempo, and unstable budgets. And many of the elected officials who are here today have been equal. That would inform a discussion about how to do it. And quite frankly, if that were accompanied by a stable and predictable budget, if we just had that framework, well, we might not get it exactly right, but we'd hit the 80% mark, and we would maintain the competitive advantage that we have had for the last several decades well into the future. That'd be what I'd ask for, Governor. So if you could do that for us, it'd be very helpful.
Thank you. All right, we will now entertain questions. And if you have a question, I would ask that you stand so that I can see you. And when recognized, you might care to identify yourself and your organization if you're affiliated with one.
And Governor, if there are no further questions.
You and I can just have a conversation if there are no questions. Yes, sir, in the back. Wait just a second till we get a microphone to you.
Thank you, General. John Harper with National Defense Magazine. Do you have any concerns about a general who was so recently retired becoming the next Secretary of Defense? As you know, General Mattis was recently nominated, or will be nominated for that position.
Do I have any concerns? No.
General, as a first lieutenant, I hesitate to offer a suggestion, but I'm going to. How about hell no? All right, who is next? Yes, sir. Wait just a minute. This young man is going to get a lot of exercise.
Ken Heps. President-elect Trump has said one of his major goals when he comes into office is to defeat ISIS and to kick the blank out of them. Is there a strategy to do so?
Sure. In fact, number one, there is today. We're going to review that, obviously. The President-elect has indicated he wants a review of that. We met with the transition team on Wednesday and began a dialogue that will be ongoing here over the next several weeks. And, you know, the one thing that we won't do as a team coming in is we're not going to be the folks in uniform that say, look, we've already thought of everything. We're comfortable with where we are. If there's anything I would tell you is we're never complacent about where we are against the threat of the Islamic State. Having said that, we think that over the past year we have made some significant progress. We've significantly limited the territory they hold. We've reduced their freedom of movement. We've disrupted their ability to plan and conduct external operations. We've gotten after their resources, and I think we've put a dent in it. Having said that, there are some things that we would probably bring into the new administration for consideration, because obviously there's a policy framework within which the military dimension of the strategy takes place today. And we'll make sure that as we go through transition, they understand what that policy framework is. They understand where there may be some flexibility to make changes in that policy framework, which will then inform maybe some course and speed corrections to our strategy. But I certainly, at this point in public, won't talk much more specifically, because I think I owe it to the new administration to have that conversation in private first, and then afford our decision makers a chance to make a decision.
Eva Blaisdell, founder of California Space Center, to be potentially built on Ronald Reagan land, but also honorary chairwoman of the Polish Air Force Academy. I am also representing Polish media here. Thank you for your compelling, strong speech. On behalf of Polish people, where you are, as I'm sure you know, deploying a lot of American forces, battalions, F-16s, and Poland is a primary ally facing toward Russia. May I ask you, General, what message can I carry to Polish people and to my Polish Air Force Academy, which my father led in the past, between unity and support for brave Poles?
Sure. I think the first message, and I'd reiterate one that I made in my remarks. Number one, I think the Polish people know that the United States of America has the capability to meet our NATO alliance commitment. That's point one. Number two, there's a physical manifestation of our commitment that's there today in the form of presence, and we're increasing that presence in what's known as the European Reassurance Initiative. And last year we began that initiative, and there's a significant increase in the European Reassurance Initiative in the coming year. And as you know, part of that is a physical presence in Poland itself. Each of the Baltic states, as well as Poland, will have an increase in forces on the ground. And I think you can also tell the Polish people that as a result of what we have done together over the past 15 years in particular, but really since the mid-1990s, I think we have the interoperability that's going to allow us to integrate capability. And when I look at the threat that NATO faces, if we are able to fully leverage 28 nations, the economic, the political, and the military capability of the 28 nations of NATO, I think the Polish people should sleep soundly at night. I think in the back.